One of the most common and iconic enemies in the entire Mario franchise is the humble Koopa Troopa. These giant turtles can be bopped on the head with a single jump, at which point they'll be violently ejected from their shell. If Mario walks over the shell while holding the run button, he'll pick it up and be able to use the shell as a projectile to damage enemies and activate boxes. But once the shell is in motion, it itself is treated as an enemy that can be bounced off of. When Mario lands on most enemies, if you're holding the jump button, he'll get a ton of height. If we combine all of this, now we have a projectile that Mario can purposely bounce off of to gain height. So how do we actually perform a shell jump? Let's break it down. Step 1. Jump while holding a shell. Step 2. At the peak of Mario's jump, release the shell by letting go of the run button. It's very important to not release the jump button during this step. When you're first learning how to do shell jumps, you'll be very tempted to release both Y and B while throwing the shell, but this makes shell jumps significantly more difficult to do. In Super Mario World, holding jump slows down Mario's fall speed, so releasing jump at the same time that you release the shell will cause Mario to fall more quickly and will likely mess up the shell jump in the process. Step 3. Land on the shell while holding jump. If you've succeeded at this step, then congratulations, you've performed a shell jump. More likely though, if you've just started learning, you've run into one of 3 common issues. Issue 1. You were nowhere near the shell. This typically means that you didn't release the shell at the right time, probably too early. There's a pretty specific window where you need to release the shell, and if you deviate from that, you'll miss the shell completely. Issue 2. The shell went right through Mario. This one is simple. You were too close to the wall when you released the shell. For about a quarter of a second after throwing the shell, Mario can't interact with it. This means that it can't hurt Mario, but it also means that Mario can't land on it. This is useful in some situations, but not when trying to shell jump. Just back up a step or 2, and you'll be the right distance to land on the shell. Issue 3. You got hit in the face by the shell. This happens when you release the shell too late. The good news is that you're probably the correct distance from the wall. So just release the shell a little bit earlier, and you've got it. Now that you've got the basics, you can perform a ton of the shell jumps that Kaizo hacks will throw your way, which is lucky, because